I've been in rooms where everyone knew my name, but nobody knew me. I remember laughing, shaking hands, making conversation, but inside, I felt small. Because growing up, no one ever told me that I was enough. And when no one teaches you how to love yourself, you start outsourcing it. You look for it in applause, in relationships, in achievement. You try to build confidence without the foundation of self-love and wonder why it keeps collapsing. So I spent my life trying to earn a feeling I should have been given for free, and later realized I had to give it to myself. That's what this channel is about, learning to love yourself enough that you stop searching for that validation everywhere else, because when you finally stop chasing it, you start finding it inside. When I was younger, I wanted life to make sense. I wanted all the pieces to fit. Friends, love, success, the picture I thought everyone else already had. But life didn't come with instructions. It came with questions I didn't know how to answer. Every rejection felt personal. Every failure felt final. I didn't see those moments as lessons. I saw them as proof. Proof that something was wrong with me. Comparison didn't show up on a screen for me. It lived inside my own head. That voice that whispered, "You should be further by now. You should have figured it out. Why aren't you more like them?" And the worst part, it sounded like me. That voice got loud, not angry, just constant. But here's what I've learned. That voice wasn't truth. It was fear dressed up as motivation. It was insecurity pretending to push me forward. And every time I believed it, I abandoned myself a little more. I treated my own timeline like it was wrong. I wasn't broken. I wasn't behind. I was just missing one piece. The only one that ever mattered. Love for myself. Maybe you felt that too. Pretending pieces fit when deep down you knew they didn't. You're not alone in that. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that everyone you meet is a mirror. That friend who listens without judgment, they reflect your gentleness. That person who criticizes you, they mirror the judgment you already carry. The one who leaves without closure, they show you where you still abandon yourself. At first, that idea made me angry. Like, how could the people who hurt me possibly be a mirror of me? But over time, I realized the universe doesn't send people to punish you. It sends them to show you as something. Every encounter, good or bad, is another clue to what still needs healing. So instead of asking, why are they like that? I started asking, what are they showing me? That question changed everything. Now, whenever someone triggers me, I stop and breathe. Because maybe that moment isn't about them at all. Maybe it's another piece of the puzzle showing me where I still need to love myself more. Because every trigger is just unhealed love asking for attention. And when I respond with compassion instead of defense, I grow. I promised myself that if I ever built a platform, I'd keep things simple. I remember working in offices where people threw around words like EBITDA and MSA like everyone already knew. Most people nodded, pretending to understand, terrified to look lost. That's when it hit me. We all wear masks to avoid looking vulnerable. And that fear of not knowing, it's the same fear that keeps us from growing. So here, I'll always speak plain. No jargon, no ego, just clarity. Because asking questions isn't weakness, it's curiosity. And curiosity is the first spark of self-love. Because when you're willing to say, I don't know, you're also saying, I don't need to pretend anymore. And dropping the mask is one of the bravest ways to love yourself. Here's what I discovered. A lack of self-love doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like overachieving. Sometimes it's bullying. Sometimes it's needing attention. Sometimes it's constantly apologizing even when you did nothing wrong. It's chasing relationships that hurt because they feel familiar. It's overworking so you never have to sit in silence with yourself. I've worn these masks. Maybe you have too. I've confused attention for affection, productivity for worth, busyness for purpose, but none of those ever replaced the quiet work of liking myself when no one was watching. But here's the truth. Those behaviors aren't proof you're broken. They're messages, gentle ones if you learn to listen. They're your soul whispering, hey, something's off. Come back to me. Once you hear that, you can't unhear it. That's the start of healing. Not perfection, not performance, just awareness. At some point, I stopped asking, when will I be happy? And started asking, how can I love myself right now? Because loving yourself isn't a destination. It's maintenance, like breathing, eating, and sleeping. You don't tell your partner, I love you once and expect it to last forever. You keep showing up. You keep choosing them. Even on the days they're difficult. Even on the days they disappoint you. That's what real love looks like. So why would it be any different with yourself? Loving yourself isn't about becoming someone new. It's about stopping the war you've been quietly fighting with who you already are. You have to do that for yourself too. And the moment you start, life changes shape. You start cheering for others instead of competing. You start letting go faster. You find joy in smaller things. Loving yourself isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you otherwise. I'll be honest. Some of what I share might sound out there. When I first heard people talk about energy and vibration, I laughed. It felt too mystical, too vague. But then I noticed something. When I was happy, things lined up. When I was frustrated, everything jammed. Maybe that's the lesson. Your energy is your broadcast signal. Whether you call it God, the universe, or just intuition, it doesn't matter. The message is the same. Your peace is magnetic. And peace doesn't come from getting everything you want. It comes from accepting yourself before you have it. The more you feel good, the more life meets you there. If I could talk to the teenage version of me, the one who felt invisible, I'd say, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're just early in your story. That pain you're feeling, it's not punishment. It's direction. Every heartbreak, every failure, every lonely light, they're all sculpting you into the person who will one day help someone else to do the same thing. Be gentle with yourself. Speak to yourself the way you wish someone had spoken to you back then. That voice you're waiting for, it's yours now. You're doing much better than you think. So if you made it this far, thank you. This space isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about finding light, even when it's not. We'll talk about healing, resistance, and the little habits that pull you back to yourself. There will be moments that make us smile and moments that make us reflect, but everything we talk about here will come from a place of honesty. If something in this message landed with you, take a deep breath and remember it. You don't need to chase love. You just need to recognize it, starting with you. And hey, if you want to keep walking this journey with me, hit subscribe. Not for numbers, not for me. Because surrounding yourself with reminders to love who you are is not indulgent. It's maintenance. And the algorithm will always give you more of what you choose to consume. So choose self-love. Now, go easy on yourself today. Breathe, smile, and say it, even quietly. I love myself right now as I am. That's where it all begins.